And I think Bob's going to go ahead and do a little brief introduction here. So.
Hopefully people can hear me and perhaps maybe even see me. But Bob Dubois with the Noblesville Chamber of Commerce, and we're thrilled that you guys are all able to spend a half hour with us today to learn about a couple of these programs. One's been around for quite some time, and this is the next iteration of it. And the other is one that takes effect today on youth employment that I know many of you are interested in. But the Noblesville Chamber is happy to partner with the City of Noblesville Economic Development on these types of webinars, informational webinars to bring you information. And so Chuck is going to handle a good chunk of it. I'll introduce it. And we have a special guest here with us today that we're excited to introduce you to. And we also appreciate our friends from Ed from Work One, who's on the call as well. So the goal is to dispense some information to you today, answer any questions you have, and any questions that we can't answer today, we'll take note of those and we'll get you answers over the next couple of days. So this is for you to learn what you need to do to move forward on these programs. So Chuck, you want to take it from here?
Yeah, hi everybody. If you don't know me, I'm Chuck Haberman, the Workforce Development Manager for the City of Noblesville. I work in the Economic Development Department here. I'm excited to be here, and I'll jump into the meat and potatoes of things here in a minute. But as Bob alluded, we have a special guest, surprise guest here today. She was able to come in, so I'll let Carrie introduce herself.
I didn't realize I was a surprise guest or a special guest. I'm a little thrown off, but my name is Carrie Lively. I am currently the Senior Director of the Office of Work-Based Learning and Apprenticeship. It's housed within the Governor's Workforce Cabinet, and the goal of my office is to help to expand apprenticeship and work-based learning opportunities for both adults and youth across the state. So for 13 more days, I will be doing that job, and then transitioning into one that I'm very excited about, the executive director position for the newly established Hamilton County Center for Career Achievement. So still working in the space of youth and career and technical education, really hoping to connect with employers and create a pipeline of talent that you as an employer need to help recruit and retain people at a young age. So I'm glad to be here and excited to be engaging with you more frequently in the near future.
Yeah, so we'll jump right into this. I'm going to kick off with this kind of a rundown of what we're going to do. We're going to kick off with the employer training grant, the Next Level Jobs. This is the 5th iteration of this round of funding. And so let's go to the next slide here. So for anybody who's new to this program, it's a grant opportunity from the Department of Workforce Development in the state. You can receive up to $50,000 for eligible workforce training.
Hey, Chuck, your slide didn't change for us. At least it didn't for me.
Yep.
Correct. Okay.
Thanks for that. Try to share again.
Where'd you go?
How's that?
There we go. Yep, good.
Yeah, that's better.
So the Next Level Jobs Employer Training Grant is a program for eligible training. Employers can receive up to $50,000 per FEIN, Federal Employer Identification Number. You can receive up to $5,000 per employee that is trained and then retained for 6 months. So that's a key important part of that. The time for that, the training is complete and they're retained for 6 months. You can see the eligible industry sectors there below. You can go to the website to get more information about those sectors and the eligible training. About the training, make sure it's the changing still for you guys.
Yes.
So the training has to be occupational skills training. So any kind of job shadow or onboarding training orientation type training, annual HR type training would not qualify. It has to be skills-based training in the in-demand occupations. The training does need to be 40 hours long at a minimum. I think in the past, they've given recommendations to be about 13 weeks at the long end, but I think there's caveats to that. I know that there are apprenticeship programs and others that go longer. But I would recommend reaching out to Ed Miller, who's on the line here at Work One, for those details for those specific types of trainings. The other caveat or the other eligibility requirement is the student or the learner, the employee must have a wage gain once they've been trained. So there's a number of different ways that you can go about doing that, but obviously they need to be compensated for the train that they just learned. So those are the basic kind of the eligibility and constraints of this type of grant. So we've been fortunate to have 3 people who have used that are Noblesville employers that will do a brief overview of how they utilize that, what their experience was like, and answer any questions that you might have. So if you would, I'll start with Carol. You can give a 2 to 3 minute overview of how they utilize the funds. And then we'll move on to Janet, and then we'll go to Carmen. And then cumulatively, we'll open it up for questions and answers from the group that any 3 of you could answer. So Carol, go ahead.
Sure. Thank you for having me today. Metro participated for the first time in 2018. We actually had someone reach out to us, I believe from a Sponsor group. They kind of walked us through the application process, but basically what we did is we put into place an accelerated version of our certification for certified machine operators. So we took what we normally do in probably an 18-month to 2-year period and put some extensive training in place to cross-train and certify operators to run machines and things like that. So that's how we utilized it. We haven't done it again since 2018, but we are in the process of applying for this next round. We're going to do a lot of taking our supervisors through a leadership training course, something that, as you promote people from within, that soft skills leadership stuff is something that traditionally are missing out on. So that's where we're going with it. I found the process extremely easy. The easiest thing is when you apply for the money. I mean, you invoice the state, you turn your paperwork in. It's pretty fast and seamless. If you have questions, because I know we had a transition of staffing in the middle of our program, so I had to come up to speed very quick and had no idea what was going on when I stepped into it. But the Department of Workforce Development, who I believe runs this, the office staff there just walked me through it and made it very, very easy to complete the process and close it out.
Yeah, I will jump in there. I think in 2018, it was representatives from DWD. Now it's managed at the Work One offices within the county. Ed Miller is the point of contact. He's the business services manager for the county. And so he vets the applications and does all the management of that program. So
If I can interject real quick here. Actually, the program is so successful that the people at Department of Workforce Development couldn't handle the volume. So basically what they've done is they have spread some of the responsibilities out to the local people, such as myself here in Hamilton County. But there's 12 different regions in the state, and I happen to do Hamilton County. So I'll be working with anyone who applies for the program this year. Thank you.
thanks, Ed. Janet, you want to go ahead and share your
Sure, I'm glad to. I'm Janet White. I work for Helmer Scientific. I think I'll reiterate Carol's. It's really seamless. I was extremely impressed. I've struggled with writing grants. I mean, you have to write a paper, a PhD level paper in order to get money. And this was really easy. And the guidance, I specifically worked with Holly Meyer. She was a absolute unbelievable. She was, I'd call her, she would not always pick up because she's a busy woman, but she would call me back almost immediately and give me advice on what to do. And we used it, we were growing. So what we used it was to promote people up. And then we brought new people into a lower skill level. So we used it for both aspects, both the promotion of people from like a gen fab person to a fab tech, running a press break, that kind of thing. So it was a big, it was really a big plus for us. I think the only hesitation I had when I turned in the paperwork, one time I turned in paperwork and I just had old paperwork. So it took a while for somebody to figure out I had old paperwork, and they had revamped it and I had to resubmit. So minor detail, but it's the only issue I ran into. Otherwise, the money came in quickly. I'd let my accounting department know I'd submitted and they would let me know it was really fast. Yeah, I'd do it again, and I will, Ed, so we'll be in touch. Great program.
Great, thank you. Carmen, you want to go ahead and share?
Sure. Hello, everybody. My name is Carmen Clift. My husband and I own Beck's Chimney Sweep here in Noblesville. As everyone has said so far, this program is so easy. I've worked with Ed Miller the past couple of years now, and he makes himself available to help you. You don't have to call an 800 number and go into a big call center and wait on hold endlessly for help. You've got Ed, and he's a fantastic guy to reach out to and help you get things done. So about our program, we are a chimney sweep company. And when we go to hire folks, there aren't experienced chimney sweeps out there looking to join our team. So when we want to hire or replace someone, it's a challenge. What we did is we developed a paid apprentice program where we hire and train people for our company. It takes 6 to 12 months for one of our apprentices to gain the knowledge and experience needed to run a truck and come out to a customer's home to service their fireplace and chimney. And that's a lot of expense, and it makes it challenging for us to grow our business. So NextLevel Jobs has just been a phenomenal asset for us. We've really had 3 key things that have made this program such a success for us. One, when we developed the apprenticeship, it really sparked an interest in recruiting new talent. People see it as professional, lifelong job opportunity and career that they're going to have. So the apprenticeship program made it great. And the funding is number 2. The funding through NextLevel Jobs has helped us with retention. Our apprentices now, not only do they, get this paid training program for their career, at the completion of that training, they earn a completion bonus. When I'm talking to new hires and through the interview process, and I tell them, hey, you complete your training program and you get $1,000 certification bonus, they're pretty psyched up and they're just looking forward to joining our company. So that's been a good thing. And then 3, we're looking this year at hopefully planning to expand that NextLevel Jobs program to include a training and certification program for our tenured employees. With that additional training and another completion bonus, we think it's going to be a great way to give additional training to our staff and retain those talented senior team members we have. Final thing, just a brief success story. I've shared with you our chimney sweep technicians and the success we've had there, but we had kind of a cool experience last year. Again, with NextLevel Jobs, we have a great customer service rep on our team who started about a year ago. And as we talked about her growth and development in our company, she said, I'd be interested in learning some of the bookkeeping and those types of functions. We were able to get additional training for her through NextLevel Jobs, where she took online training for bookkeeping and earned her bookkeeping certification. And she's now working on her QuickBooks certification as well. She's now been promoted to our office manager. So we're pretty psyched up that NextLevel Jobs has helped us get that training to our employees and really help them advance their careers within our company.
Wow, that's great. That's outstanding, actually. Carmen, I'm glad you spoke about your creating an apprenticeship. I wanted to give Carrie an opportunity to kind of promote the types of programs that she does, and that I know there's other folks on our call that do apprenticeship, better than anybody else. So I wanted Carrie to kind of plug what she's got going on as well.
So yeah, through the Office of Work-Based Learning and Apprenticeship, it is just that and work-based learning and apprenticeship programs within the state. The governor set up our office with the goal of doubling the amount of work-based learning available to Hoosiers, both adult and youth across the state in 2 years. And we've been able to not only do that through the registered apprenticeship or the DOL apprenticeship program, but also through a state level program, which is considered what we call a SEAL, or a certified state earn and learn. And both the registered apprenticeship program and the certified state earn and learn program, or the state level apprenticeship program, do qualify for the next level jobs as a training plan and a training program. And so if that's not something that you have in place currently as an employer, or there's an occupation that you want to train for that you don't have kind of a training plan developed, there's some additional help through the Office of Work-Based Learning and Apprenticeship, as well as the Department of Labor. We work in tandem to help you develop out those programs to ensure that there's adequate and accurate training into occupations that you want to use to expand what you currently have or what you want to offer to your employees. So just kind of a little plug that there's some additional help out there. If you work through our office, every training plan or every program that we certify does automatically qualify with next level jobs. So, you know, Carmen, I love to hear that you were able to kind of venture out from just the chimney sweep occupation to also that office or that office staff occupation as well. But if there's a way to expand, or you want to expand different occupations, we can definitely assist with that. Where my background is I've been a former teacher, counselor, and school administrator prior to coming into the Department of Workforce Development and the governor's workforce cabinet. I actually see Jeff Bryant's name on the screen, and I worked with Jeff at Noblesville High School before going on to the state. So Noblesville and Hamilton County is near and dear to my heart, and coming back and being able to support employers and creating programs that benefit both youth and adults in the county is really exciting for me. So as you move forward, these programs are great for incumbent and current employees, but they also are eligible for youth. So if there is an interest in getting you know, minors into a career field or into your business, there is an allocation for $1,000 through the next level jobs to offset the cost of education and training for minors as well. So that's a little plug for what I do, what I hope to do here as I transition to the new job, and how this program can definitely benefit both youth and adults for you as employers.
We're going to press pause on that awesome segue and open it up. We've got about 4 minutes that we can do Q&A specifically on the employer training grant. So if anybody has any questions, go ahead and unmute, ask your question, and we'll get it answered.
Well, I don't have a question, but Department of Workforce Development is going to have a town hall meeting and on July the 7th, and basically go over the next level job program and some of the minor changes that are occurring for this year. The actual portal, excuse me, where you can do your applications is supposed to open up July the 9th.
And so, yes, great plug for that. The difference between this and that is, one, they will also cover the Workforce Ready grant, which is probably, I think, what Carmen may have used for her office manager's training. I may not be correct on that, but that's a different program that is the individual, the employer, or the learner, or the employee or the learner would take advantage of on their own, oftentimes with the guidance of an employer, but that's something that anybody across the state could apply for individually. Do we have any other questions about the employer training grant?
Can you tell me where to go, on what website talks about the $1,000 education grant for minors?
It's through the same website. So Brian Silk and his team at DWD, it was passed in legislation in 2018 that the next level jobs grant would be eligible for minors who are under 18. You would actually work through the Office of Work-Based Learning and Apprenticeship to, if you didn't have a plan developed, but anyone at DWD under Brian Silk or your local Work One could be able to connect you to someone who would be able to explain that piece as well. It's the same process. The application actually says on the NextLevel Jobs site, are you doing a SEAL or a state earn and learn, which would identify that you're working with youth.
Okay, thank you.
And then also just kind of a plug that there's a lot of money out there for this training, but it's not an endless pot of money. So making sure that you get, if this is an interest, that you get on quickly, because a lot of times the money is allocated fairly quickly. And so once the money is allocated out, they will put you on a waiting list until another employer doesn't utilize all of the funds they've requested. So a little bit of urgency in terms of moving once that portal is opened.
Yes, that's correct. Don't wait.
Which is another reason why we decided to do this for the town hall next week. So
Right.
you guys can do your planning, ask any questions of Ed that you might have, or me or Bob, and then, be ready to go and submit your applications next week when it opens up.
This is Rhonda Bennett with Spectrum Brands here in Noblesville, and I was curious how we could find out about the town hall and where to go for that.
I've got the web address. I went and looked at the NextLevel Jobs page on DWD. It didn't have that. I've got that. Did I send that to Chuck and then you send it out?
Yep, we've got it ready to tee up on our social media through the
You
chain,
got it? Okay, all right.
through the economic development.
You need to register though.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
You're welcome.
All right, so seeing no more questions, I'm going to go ahead and move into the YES program, and I believe Bob's going to do the heavy lifting on that. So I'll mute myself so Bob can.
Unmute.
Everyone can hear me. This is a change that the state made in 2020 that the actual implementation begins today on youth employment and what you need to do to register your minor employees. Previously, they needed to have a work permit through the school system. That, as of today, is no longer the case. So the responsibility for reporting to the state is yours. If you employ 5 minor employees, 18 and under, then you are required to register with the state and register each of these employees with the state. And it is cumulative. So if you, it's when you hit that 5 number, it triggers that. If you then fall below, you are still required to report all your employees from there on through the state system. You have 3 days to report them into the YES system, the youth employment system. You also have 3 days to remove them when they're no longer employed by you. And these are people that are on your payroll. So if you have unpaid high school interns, they do not qualify. You're not required to report those folks in. But it does look that as of today, Chuck did a quick look. It looks about 115 Noblesville employers have already registered on that YES system. But we know there's many others out there that need to do so. There are penalties associated with non-compliance, and they can be up to $400 per incident. And so you do not want to be in that space where you start triggering those fines. The requirements as far as hours and hours regulations have not changed. Those are still intact. This is exclusively for reporting of your minor employees to the state, who you employ and when they're no longer employed by you. We have been told by employers that are already in the system that chose to go on over the past couple of weeks to get queued up on it, that it is extraordinarily efficient to do so. So don't let the fear of filing into a new system delay your action on this. It's apparently fairly streamlined, fairly simple, and it is required, and so you should do it.
So to add to that as well, they are seeking feedback and they're trying to continually update that system. So I've been told that if you click the feedback button and give your feedback on the system as you're using it, they respond usually within an hour of your feedback. So they've been very, very responsive with people getting this off the ground. It's been open and up to register for a month. Today is the deadline for those folks to get registered without any penalty. So
We have a couple of questions in the chat about the age requirement. It is minor employees younger than 18 years of age. Once an employee, so say you hire a 16-year-old and they stay with you for a period of time. Once they hit 18, they automatically drop out of the system. The system automatically knows based on the birth date that they are no longer in the system. So if they leave your employment after they turn 18, you don't have to take them out because they've already come out of the system. The other question, did I hear right that it's only if you have 5 or more minors on staff? It's when you have employed 5 minors. So once you hit that 5, even if you then fall below that number, you're required to continue to report all of your minors that you employ there from there on. The qualification as a responsibility as an employer. And someone else asked, do you have to enter current employees or only those hired from here on out? I believe it's all employees.
yep. So as of today, let's say you had 6 minors that have been employed, for the last 7 months. Today, you have to sign in, set up an account, and register those 5 or 6 employees. And then anyone you hire after today, you would continue to maintain that registry. I hope that answers your question.
And I know for some, they hire, some of the folks on the call do hire a lot of minors. It will be a little bit of a burden just to get situated with the current set of employees, but then maintaining it going forward.
Yeah, I would say another important thing to reiterate is this does not change the hazardous tasks, the hour requirements or limitations. It doesn't change anything else except the responsibility of accounting for and managing your minor employees. No longer the school's responsibility to issue the work permits. It's solely on the employer. So no longer have to submit the intent to employ, wait for that process to happen. This is all a matter of time. You hire 5 youth, you register them within the 3-day buffer period, and if you let them go or you hire somebody else, you update your system. So I'll open it up briefly. I know we're about 2 minutes till time for questions, and we'll try to get those answered. Again, if we can't get it answered in the next couple minutes, we'll make sure to note that and get back to you.
I have a quick question. The young lady who's with you in the room, what's her name again? I'm sorry.
Carrie Lively.
Lively? Okay. All right. Just want to connect you maybe with our talent acquisition team, Carrie.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Any other questions? I'm not seeing any. Are there any in the chat, Bob?
No, there was apparently a little bit of static when I was speaking before. We'll particularly on the youth employment system, we can we'll send you out a link to this upcoming workshop that the state is having, this town hall. But we'll also give a summary of the YES program on some of the questions that were just asked and answered, so you have that in writing.
Great. Well, I love to be on time, so I appreciate everybody taking the time during their lunch period to join us. I hope this is informative. I would say be on the lookout for some additional type quick overviews on updates of things that are going on in workforce from this group. And you guys have a great day. Again, if you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to Bob or myself. I think I went past, there's our contact information. We're happy to help in any way we can. So I appreciate everybody. Thanks.
Thanks, Chuck. All right.